Welcome back, you guys. Let's do I got back from vacation. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you more about it. I guess technically work trip. Hi, Kesha Do Beans. Let's do a maintenance clean. And Leroy, I'm showing you the pets that are available. And also, yeah, I did get home from vacation/work trip and left my luggage right there. Didn't even bother with it. My flight was so epically delayed that I gave up. I gave up for 2 days. That trip took so much out of me. I had to take a 2-day nesting break. But now we're going to get right back at it. I'm going to show you a little sweet potato pie. She's so cute. I poke her in the eye a little bit. Don't worry about that. But my husband kept the house nice and clean, and he kept the kids nice and alive. This stuff that you can see right here, kind of my clutter, and I didn't clean up after dinner. Those dishes, though, those food containers, I took those out before I left because I needed room in my fridge. I am not looking forward to cleaning that. That seems like a bit much. But the laundry room is horrific. There's a lot of litter all over the place. My daughter rage scooped the litter, which I guess means throw it everywhere. So we need to take care of that because I don't want to go in the laundry room and clean and do laundry. And we all know that it is a linchpin. If I don't go do laundry stuff, it will never get done. All right. Really want to head this off at the pass, guys. Not pregnant, just fat. I went for a walk first and I'm disgusting and sweaty and didn't want to come home from my walk, shower, get dressed, clean my house for you guys and get gross while cleaning and then like shower again and then go for my second workout and then come back and shower for a third time. I really feel like I should cap showers at twice a day. If some of you guys like up north in the Great White North in Canada, I'm looping back to you, Canada. If you guys are like, that's wasteful, live in the deep south. It is a 2-shower state. That is what we do. Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, the eastern half of Texas, we all must shower by mandate, by law. In the Bible, it's written twice a day because of how gross and sticky our air is. It's catastrophic. Okay, and then I want to loop back and say, Canadians, this is your trigger warning. I'm going to be mean to Canada. I love you, Canada, but it's hilarious to me. So many of you guys, I didn't know you guys were so thin-skinned, considering you guys have winters and polar bears. Like significant winters. Everybody has a winter, I guess. But like you guys have catastrophic, I'm trying to survive level winters and polar bears. You would think you had thicker skin, but no, one tiny little suck it, Canada, and everybody starts crying in the comment section. So suck it, Canada. I do love you guys. I cannot wait to go visit you. I feel like I am really up against am I going to get my passports for my kids in time deadline for the Canada trip? But I mean, it can't control that. So we're just going to bless and release and the passport gods will choose what they choose. All right. So in the Discord, a bunch of us were talking about, by a bunch, I mean two of us were discussing whether or not we were going to do 75 hard because I had a goal this year to lose 25 pounds. 25 by 20 in 25 is what I said because I thought it was cute. And instead, I am working in the opposite direction. So when Adair was like, oh, maybe I'll do it, I was like, yes, I need peer pressure. Let's do this. And so that's why I did one walk outside and I have a second workout. Hopefully we stick to it. Hopefully this happens because I absolutely need this in my life. All right, first things first, dishes, always dishes. And I'm talking to my dad on the phone and it's hilarious. I talked to him basically this entire clean and most of it is us trying to get off the phone with each other, but being like, oh, but also. And so what was supposed to be a 3-minute conversation where he's like, what do you want to eat when you're here? And I said, Sonia wants beef ribs. And he said, do you eat prawns? And I said, of course I eat prawns. That was supposed to be it. That's all we were supposed to talk about. And then we looped into like things that we have seen on YouTube, who we follow for weather content. What else did we talk about? My wedding came up. We discussed that for a little bit. We talked about YouTube things and like we just got really distracted his childhood came up for a little bit. Like we just kept talking. And so that's why I'm talking so much. And I talk with my hands, which I'm doing right now. Sometimes you guys can hear me talk with my hands because I'll smack the mic. And you're welcome. I feel like you guys need that a little bit. Also, I feel like it was before, but I was busy talking, but I throw a dish towel and I throw it right onto you guys and hit you. And that made me laugh. That was really funny. Okay, so I did go to New York City. First time ever going to New York City. I made a vlog for it. I loved making that video. It was so much fun. I cannot wait to do more travel content. It just filled my little heart with joy. My favorite part about vlogging in public, which is very minimal because it is so uncomfortable to film yourself and talk to a camera in public. It's so cringy. And like, that other people are looking at you being like, ugh, cringe. Because my soul is screaming, oh my God, cringe at the exact same time. But what I love about it is that it felt like you guys were with me. So I've gotten so used to talking to the camera like it's you guys, because I know after I'm done talking on here, like in my voiceover moment, and then also when I'm cleaning, like I know when I'm talking on here and stuff like that, we will have responses and conversations in the comments later. And I love that. So it kind of blends together to where now my camera is you guys. And so instead of being sad that I was experiencing the Empire State Building alone, it wasn't. I was experiencing it with you guys. And that was incredible. I was so worried about being lonely on this trip. For example, my dad's like, oh, are you going to go to Central Park and do a carriage ride? And I was like, I would be so depressed. I would be so sad because it would be so beautiful and fun and all of that, but I would be by myself, and how lonely and crushingly lonely that would be. I am not one where some people love traveling by themselves and some people are very solo, but I am not very solo. I need a person. That reminds me, I'll tell you about the airport thing in a minute. I need a person. I want somebody going through it with me. And so that's why I was grateful that you guys went through it with me, especially if it's a bad experience. Yeah, I want somebody else to be miserable right alongside me. I want to trauma bond with a stranger, exchange phone numbers at the end, and then build a lifelong relationship together, because like the one time we got stuck in that mining tunnel, I don't know why we were there. Maybe we were looking for emeralds. Genuinely trying to think about if emeralds come from mines. Yeah, emerald mines, right? Right, Elon? I'll ask him later when I baby trap him. Anyway, so speaking of trauma bonding, I was leaving New York in the morning, as that's just how that went. So I was worried about traffic because I flew out of Newark. I was in New Jersey and I was in New York City, and I was scared it was going to take too long to get there. And also I'm one of those people that I hate waiting for something, especially going to the airport. I would much rather wait in the airport for 4 hours than wait at home for 2 hours, waiting to go to the airport to wait for 2 more hours. Does that make sense? I'd rather be in it doing the activity, because the waiting in the house would be just as miserable to me. Like it's not more comfortable. I'm just too anxious about the fact that I need to be at the airport. Whereas I get to the airport, I get through security, and then it's like, okay, we did it, right? So I thought that there was going to be traffic. There absolutely was not traffic. And so I got there 3 hours before my flight. Fine, okay. I have my laptop with me. And so I was like, okay, let's do some editing. I am not at my gate. I just thought I'll go to Starbucks, which is not terribly far from my gates, but not terribly close. And I went there, and there was like a comfortable seat, and I just sat there and talked to the girl next to me because, again, I cannot be alone. I hate being alone. So I'm editing, and then I started talking to her. She had just come back from Israel, which I found absolutely fascinating. And I was like, were you not scared? And she's like, no, I wasn't scared. We were with our people. And I was like, okay, so you didn't feel like you were in danger? She's like, no, of course not. Because we had our armed guards, and there was a lot of us, and we had our medic. And I was like, girl, you went If you have armed guards and a dedicated medic, that's scary. Like that's crazy. And she's like, no, it was fine. Sometimes there are sirens and then you have to hide. I was like, girl, that was not fun for you. Like, that's terrible. How scary for you. But she was really cool and interesting. And then I got like super sucked into a workflow mode and I was in it. And so I'm editing away and I look at my little time thing. You know what we have there? Clock, thank you, on my laptop, and it's at 11:55. And I was like, oh, Beth, doesn't your flight leave at noon? Oh my God. So I pack everything and sprint. It like left at 12:15, and I sprint. I panic sprint. And I get there, I am fifth from last to board. Like I barely make it. I was just like, what? I was so distracted. This is terrible. They forced me to check my bag because airlines suck. Like, okay, they need to calm down because they are charging everybody to check a bag. So everybody brings carry-ons. There's not enough room for carry-ons. And so now they're like, don't bring anything with you. Just buy it when you get there or whatever their theory is. But I check my bag. Fine. I get to the next airport and it's an hour and a half layover. I never have hour and a half layovers in this airport. I always have oh my God, dead sprint to the next plane. It's either a 40-minute layover or a billion years. And I always end up with 40-minute layover, but this time I was like, I'll be okay. And they delay our flight for an hour 5 times. And the very first time they do, I was like, I should get a car. I should get a car and drive. Like, I'm not that far. I could do it. I should get a car and drive. And they don't. Oh, they don't. But I am just like, every time it gets close and they're like, just kidding, we're delayed again. I was like, should I get a car? Should I get a car? I kept thinking about it. But then because I was going through something uncomfortable, I'm not going to do it by myself. So I found a dude. And I walked up to him and I was like, you're a cop. I can tell you're like, I can smell it. I can see it. And he was in fact a federal law enforcement officer. I can find you a million miles away. I know exactly who you guys are. He was in plain clothes. I smelled him out and I was like, guess what? We're best friends now. And I made him hang out with me for 3 hours. I also found another guy who was going to be my bestie. And he was a pilot. And I was like, we're also best friends. We're in this together. And so I got friends. I have 2 new friends from the airport. We didn't exchange names, which I should have, because I'm pretty sure the other guy works with my husband. But I think he's like super high up. And that's hilarious. I was trying to describe him to Mark, and Mark's like, that guy may have been like a super important guy. I was like, doesn't matter to me. He was just an idiot at the airport. Like the last time when I asked my husband's boss's boss, like the dude who's permanently in DC doing like, I'm a DC federal person up there, like the director probably like can text the president. I asked him for a ride. I was like, hey, bestie, my car broke down over there. Would you give me a ride? And then later we got back and I was talking to my husband and a bunch of his friends, coworkers. And I was like, I asked this guy for a ride and everybody died. Everybody was like, I'm sorry, who? I was like, this guy, except for I mispronounced his last name. Like if his name was Davis, I was like, Deva. And they'd be like, Davey? And they'd be like, Davis? And I was like, yes, that dude. And my husband was like, you asked him for a ride? I was like, nobody else was there, babe. Like, I saw that he had the same uniform and I was like, hey, can I have a ride? And he's like, oh my God, do you know how high up he is? I was like, doesn't matter. He was my trauma bestie. So anyways, I have a bunch of trauma besties now. Okay, laundry room, since I yapped this whole time, is disgusting. There's so much litter on my feet and I'm just hoping that it was clean litter that didn't make it accurately into the litter box when my daughter was refilling the litter, as opposed to dirty litter that didn't really make it into a trash bag when she was scooping it out. I'm going to go with a little bit of like denial delusion. That's clean litter on the floor. I just have to sweep it up. Ugh. There's the world's famous Sam's Club floor cleaner. I talked about that a lot this weekend. Oh, it's raining a whole bunch. I hope that you guys have a little ASMR vibe happening right now. Doubtful. And now I have to get litter off of the bottom of this laundry thing because I don't want to put it back on top of my laundry bin. I still need to cycle through clothes, but I don't want to like, what if it was dirty litter? I don't want to just keep transferring dirty litter here, there, and everywhere. Okay, so now I'm vacuuming, right? And I have been playing phone tag with Mac for a while. And so I'm trying to vacuum out all of the dumped over litter in this thing. And for some reason, I called him and he just got to listen to me vacuum for a little bit. And then finally he's like, I'm here in my ear. And it terrified me because I thought it was the voice inside my brain. And if the voice inside my brain starts sounding like Mac, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. I'll start taking hallucinogens and seeing if I can just force my brain to go somewhere else. What a weird thing to say. All right, so this is mostly cleaned. I mostly cleaned my house. I'm not doing floors or anything like that, just a tiny little bit of maintenance clean because tomorrow we take one of the cats to the vet. That's not so important, but we're going to pick up the RV tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, after I take the girls to the orthodontist, we're going to take the RV for like a mini trip to Texas to see my dad real quick. So I think what we're going to have to do, because it's a 2-day drive. It's a 1-day drive if you're like super dedicated, but 2 days if you're a rational human being. So I think what I'm going to do is set everything up tomorrow, like go get the RV tomorrow and then just set everything up. It's going to be super quick. It's not very long. We're not going to stay in it. I'm not taking pets. We won't stay in it when I'm at my dad's. So we just need to have some clothes, pillows, bedding, and then a little bit of food for the drive over, and then drive as far as I can on Wednesday, sleep at a Walmart, maybe a Harvest Host if I'm feeling fancy. Cracker Barrel's always a good option. Oh, we'll do Cracker Barrel if I can. And then go see my dad. We're going to hang out with him. We're going to have like a pool party on Friday, and then Saturday, come on back because half Saturday, and then hopefully I will get home for my husband on Father's Day on Sunday. But yeah, so this is what my house looks like. We're not going for perfection here. We're going for feral chaos. I didn't want to say progress. I don't want to use somebody else's little catch line. But yeah, perfection. No, we're looking for progress over perfection. And I just wanted to do a little bit of cleaning. I'm proud of myself. At least I didn't just let it go to full catastrophic levels like I tend to do. But yes, I have dishes. I need to do my floor. There's other things that I could do, but I am glad that I did something. And then I wanted to show you guys this. Wait until I go over there. Look at this. This, I do believe, is a lammy ear. We had a significant mauling situation. We definitely have a vicious breed on our hands. There he is. He is dismembering things. What a terrible, rotten dog. Okay, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I know it was a short one, but my life is chaos right now. I am just trying to figure out what I can do when I can do it. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.